Hey everybody, Jill Janis here with Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi on our first all-ever official Geek Girls podcast. Joining me, I have my gamer girl, Sarah Sadovsky.
Hi.
And I have our Able Ideas model chick, Kayla Alvarez. And we are going to jump right in. So we are the only geek girls in a predominantly all-male society. So we're going to give our little views and perspective on things. So we're going to jump right in. So one thing that I'm passionate about, and I think we've all have watched, grown up with, we share with our children, Disney princesses. Mm-hmm. We all know them. We all love them.
I mean, I think that there was a time in my life where I definitely idolized a lot of the Disney princesses, mainly being a ginger in, being a minority. I know even my mom didn't accept the fact that I was a ginger for most of my life, and like looking up to Ariel and being like, she's kind of like me. And
Of course.
And then when I was older, understanding the plot line of the Disney movies, especially like with Little Mermaid, the underlining theme of the woman constantly being in distress or being unable to rescue herself or changing herself for a man. And I remember having kind of a little bit of a bummed out moment, I think. Kind of being like, okay, sweet. So this really strong female that I thought was really cool and strong changed herself completely, didn't talk, had to use her body language, like Ursula said, to get this guy to kiss her in 3 days. And if she didn't get him to kiss her in 3 days, then then she's she's back to being a slave to Ursula, right? And I know the Hans Christian Andersen version of The Little Mermaid isn't any better. I mean, it's brutal. It's gruesome.
And you don't realize this actually while you're watching it.
You
And
don't.
growing up, you love Ariel, But then when you really watch it, it's like here she falls in love with a guy, and it's so superficial because she doesn't know him, and it's all based upon image. And
he's so fine. Oh, he's playing, whatever, Piccolo or something. He's so cute. Oh, I have to have him.
Which is, it's common in today's society, in real life,
Right.
we meet people that we find maybe physically attractive and try to change how we are to, fit their expectations so we can be accepted. And it's not fair as a woman and as a girl growing up. Even, with my children now, they love Ariel, they love Pocahontas, and it's sad that most of these storylines, our life, we all try to fall in love and go that route, but sometimes life doesn't play those cards for you. And I love that Disney is starting to open up the other different conflicts and what would you say, complexity of the world, as you will, with life, as in Frozen.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Right.
say.
Brave.
I feel like
Yes.
Disney's kind of evolving.
It is.
Well, I feel like Disney and, the sci-fi, Marvel, all of, the different science fiction, they're all evolving, whereas women, they're starting to portray a different type of love, things that are more significant, things that are more important. And,
I love
with
that.
Frozen, I thought it was a really big icebreaker for them because it completely
That's kind of funny. Frozen had an icebreaker.
yeah, but that was a good one. But it was. I mean, I feel like once Disney kind of put that movie out and everyone just watched it and fell in love with it, it was like, wow, it completely opened the doors to a whole different realm.
Absolutely.
And I think they did a wonderful job with that.
I think
so
we need to
happy.
see more of that. I love, Brave, another ginger, Sarah.
I know. It's so exciting. It's
That,
just
they try to categorize us girls to try to fit us in these pretty little prissy dresses, and we don't. We want to fight.
Yeah,
we
it's
want to.
true.
We want to show our strength. We want to show our wisdom and our courage and our mentality and our personality. We're not just a pretty face.
Well, and I hate too.
We have a brain.
Yes, and I think that sometimes too, a lot of these storylines have these daughters talking back to their fathers, and the fathers are like, nope, you're a woman, just get back there, mind your own business, you're a lady,
Exactly.
do this, do that. And it's like, no, you know what? Like, I remember as a female listening to like Part of Your World, or listening, or like understanding, like maybe he's right. Maybe there is something the matter with me. And it's like, why is it that a woman is billed that there's something wrong with her for wanting something different than the life that she's been raised in?
Right.
It's not, there's nothing wrong. It's okay. Whereas like men are celebrated to go out and do something different and break the mold. It's like, no, you're a lady. We've already figured out who you're supposed to be.
Right.
Just be that way. Don't tussle anything.
Right. And one of my all-time favorites that is not brand new, but newer, is Maleficent.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that movie because of all the movies that have touched me, that movie actually made me cry because it was like she was looking for her true love in a man, and all along it was in her mother type figure role who truly loved her. It wasn't the guy who truly loved her. He didn't truly love her. He truly loved her beauty, maybe.
Right.
But not her. And I think that was a great message. I love watching that movie. I'll share it with my children,
Right.
To show my daughter, you don't need to believe that a man is going to love you. My love is going to be enough,
Right.
I love that. So here we are. We're the geek girls of the society, and we're going to put our foot down.
Yeah.
Right.
We've had it. This is it. We're going to break through, We need to see more girls in our gamer world. Sarah, I want to
Yeah.
talk to you about that.
Well, it's interesting. So I have a really strong, actually, a psychology background. I have my degree in psychology, and by the way, we are all very educated women as well, which is I think, a really important thing to state. But we, when I was in psychology, I learned about this study in my social psychology class, and it was about following women as in their adolescent time and how they were so interested, before like age 14 in science and math, biology, zoology, veterinary science, stuff like that. And then suddenly it just kind of dissipates. And it's like, well, why? Oh, well, suddenly there's puberty.
Puberty. You hit
Suddenly
puberty.
the boys are telling you, oh, you look pretty, or oh, you should wear makeup. And suddenly all of the magazines have those pressures. And then, oh, I don't want to be a mathematician anymore. I don't want to be a scientist.
It's not
I wanna
cool
be
to
a model.
mathematician.
Yeah,
It's not,
exactly.
it's not cool. Doesn't look. You don't get the praise for it that you would if you were a supermodel or if you were somebody of importance because of your beauty.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm completely passionate about women, and especially our little girls. Growing up and knowing their self-worth, and knowing that they can be whoever they want. They shouldn't be kept in a box because they are girls. It's
Especially. And I know, Kayla, you just had a daughter.
Yeah.
And I have a daughter as well. And I'm sure, Sarah, one day when you have a daughter,
Maybe,
you're
yeah.
going to share these same, views. We're going to share our same traditions. We all love The Little Mermaid. We all love, Pocahontas, Esmeralda, all these characters. And here they're trapped in these, expectations that society put a box on women.
Right.
And it's sad that, I have to say my favorite character, Ariel, is, she's still trapped in this world.
Right.
It's sad.
Yeah, it's
but-
like, oh, well, now you met the love of your life, but you have to leave all of your sisters and your father behind, which I know they kind of tried to, like, get back in the sequels, and it didn't ever work.
That sequel's never the
Yeah,
greatest.
But it's
They're
like,
not as
okay,
good.
it's like she's, waving goodbye. And, like, I understand that, like, yeah, you're waving goodbye to your family and stuff, but it's like, why does it have to be so segmented that way? And you did bring up a good point, like, with video games and stuff, to segue into that a little bit, like, I think that now it seems like there's a little bit of a swing towards more female-fronted character video games,
Absolutely,
and movies where they're actually
i.e.
being
Tomb Raider.
Yep,
which
Tomb
was
Raider.
one of my all-time favorites. And I'm not a huge gamer, but I did love the games and the movies. I mean,
Yeah.
and transitioning from a game to a movie is hard in itself.
Right.
And then to have a female lead, she like broke records with that.
Right. And yeah, she was over sexualized in the game, but you know what?
And in the
Angelina
movie.
Jolie is pretty much
I
absolutely
mean, there
the
were
body
scenes
type.
of her naked.
Yeah.
And it's almost sad to say, would have the movie been as successful if it wasn't?
Yeah.
And it's sad to say that with women, it's such a borderline, fragile thing. It's almost like if we don't expose what makes us a woman, then we're not going to sell. And it's not fair because, there are some great things in Tomb Raider, and with Angelina Jolie dressed, she's amazing.
Yes.
Do we have to see her naked?
Right.
Granted, I'm not going to complain, but I'm saying, do we have to be sexualized with everything we do?
No.
Right.
I don't think so. And I mean, I feel like there's a trend in video games. I don't know necessarily. I mean, I feel like, I don't remember her name, but the beautiful woman that is the front of Wonder Woman.
Gal Gadot, I believe her name is.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. And one of the things that I really, because video games are my thing. I love comics and I love sci-fi and I do that, but I really obsess over video games. That's just my jam. And but when I was watching, I think it was Logan or King Kong or something. It was Kong Skull Island, I think it was a couple weeks ago. And they had a trailer for Wonder Woman. And I was just like, oh my God, this is incredible because she's a normal looking girl. But the special effects and everything that they've done, she looks like she's totally kicking ass. Mm-hmm. And I respect that, but she's just a normal looking girl, and that's what I really appreciate. And even though like Lara Croft, Angelina Jolie's natural body type is like that. And that's fantastic. And I do think that there is something very empowering about the fact that you can be sexy and be super powerful and still kick some butt. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, why do they always have to be that way?
It should be. It's like there's a
when we look at Deadpool.
Yeah, look at
and it's like he's still sexy.
Look at how they did Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
I was so upset. I'm not gonna lie. Margot Robbie, I'm a fan. She did a great job.
Yes,
but the costume really, did her shorts have to be that short?
Right.
She could have wore leggings. I mean, she could have wore anything. Did her ass cheeks have to hang out? Like, she was sexy without that.
Right.
And her character was badass. She was the only character who doesn't have, like, a superpower or, like, there's the Lizard who's intimidating, or all these characters. Deadshot has his thing. Harley Quinn's just crazy.
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean, she's crazy. Did you have to make her sexy with it? I mean, really... That was disappointing to me, and I'm a huge Harley diehard fan.
Yeah.
So that was just upsetting to me. And then just thinking about it in an overall, with the DC world, and I heard a rumor from, I'm not going to mention any names, name drop, Q, mentioned that they're not going to make a Captain Marvel movie if the Wonder Woman fails. And I honestly don't think it's going to fail because I think
it can't.
Not only are us girls excited, I think all the guys are just as excited.
Right.
I mean, the music
It looks
alone gets you
fantastic.
hyped up. But Gal, she did an amazing job. I can't wait to see it. But we need Captain Marvel. I mean, and it's a female this time. And we need that. I think we need that. We need that. Don't eliminate our options to have more females in the comic book world. It's not fair. I mean, if you look at Justice League, we only have Wonder Woman.
Right.
And then in the cartoon, I mean, we did have Hawkgirl, which is one of my favorite characters. We did have, what's the cat girl? She dated Green Lantern. I can't think of her name. But we'd had other female characters, and it's not fair that on the big screen, we have 2% of a shot to show that a woman's role is worth showing on the big screen.
Right, and that's the thing, too, with video games, is that a lot of these video games, you can play as a female, but you're playing a male storyline as a female, and there's been enough... And I know we were talking about different stuff to talk about today, and I'm thinking, like, strong video game women. And yes, there are some, but honestly, my favorite characters to play up till now have been men. And it's like, is that because of me? Or is it because there just haven't been strong ones? I'm sorry, but Princess Peach...
I mean, and if you look at your options for when you go to the store and you pick a video game... For example, I mean, they're predominantly male games. You have NBA games, you have NFL games, you have NHL games, you have all of those line of games.
All of the war games, Battlefront, which is, you've got Call of Duty, all of those, FPS games. You are on the front lines killing people, and even like in Skyrim, you can play as a woman. And what's really cool in Skyrim, in Elder Scrolls Skyrim, is that even though you play as a woman, there's different things about that. It's a brilliant game for anyone who hasn't played it. But basically, so whatever you're good at, you just get better at. So if you want to be a thief and you're constantly sneaking, your sneak level will go up. Well, there's other things that are cool about it. Like if you're male, there's certain attributes that you don't get as a female. One of the things I noticed, though, if you are a female in the game, you can persuade men. Way easier if you're a thief or assassin. Well, and that works with men as well. But one of the things when I saw that, I was like, well, I'm going to be a female. Because automatically, if I'm a female in this game, that means that I could get extra stuff because of the fact that I can have that little bit of an up.
And you can persuade men.
Right, and most of the vendors and most of the people that are in the games are automatically male. So it's like, well, of course I'm going to be a female in the game. And I was really happy about that. But at the same time, there's that slight bit of sex. It's like, is it sexism or is it reality? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Because the reality is men and women typically, you know, it's still today, the majority is that men and women flirt and want to have those kinds of interactions together, and that's just how it works. One of the really cool things is that I'm seeing more and more female storylines coming through. It looks like the new Uncharted video game that's going to be coming out shortly in, I think it might be Q3 of this year, is a female storyline. One of the games that I'm playing right now is called Horizon Zero Dawn, and that is fronted by a female named Aloy. She was fantastic. One of the best games that I've played in decades, literally decades. And I've been hearing this from men, too.
Now, what's the storyline?
The storyline is a post-apocalyptic world, but it's almost like post-post.
Okay.
So, you know, not to give anything away, basically the world has gotten to a point where androids and everything.
I think we discussed this game before.
Yeah.
And I was interested, and I was captivated by the fact that it was a female lead.
Yes.
And coming from somebody who's not typically a gamer, that kind of grasped my interest, and I think we need more things like that. It's not really fair that everything is directed toward a boy.
Right.
You know, I have a daughter. She likes to game. She might like that.
Yeah. And there's certain things as a female as I'm playing that I notice. Like, it's not called armor. They're called outfits. You can modify the outfits. But it's just like things that guys aren't even realizing. But as a woman, I'm like, oh, okay, they're outfits. That makes sense because it's not, it's a woven, like it's a fabric as opposed to like a metal sometimes. Sometimes they are. But you can choose an emotional response instead of just choosing a response. They say an emotional response, which I find, like I said, I don't know if this is necessarily something that Sony has done specifically, but stuff that I've noticed that I appreciated. Aloy is normal looking. Like if I saw her on the street, I'd just be like, she just looks like a cool girl. She's beautiful, but she's not like makeup done or anything. She has a couple dreadlocks. She's a redhead, which I appreciate. But you know, she has boobs, but are they massive? No, they're just proportionate. She's got a little bit of muscle. She's leaner.
I
Her
like it
outfits
already.
don't show
It's
too
relatable.
much.
Right.
Yeah, she's in just a normal outfit. You know, it's like normal meaning like her boobs aren't showing, her butt's not
Her
showing.
armor isn't chiseled with like ginormous titties and a small waist.
Right,
like an
exactly.
hourglass.
She has
Butt
abs.
that's like
Yeah, like so basically the storyline is that it's a post-apocalyptic world. The world is overrun by, the metal world is overrun by robots somehow. I'm not going to give it away. And basically everybody just kind of, you know, everybody dies somehow, and there's only a small human population that survives, and that group is a matriarchal society. There are some patriarchal society, but Aloy's tribe is matriarchs, so it's completely run by women, but she's an outcast because they don't understand where she came from, and basically she's trying to find her mom. She's trying to figure out what's going on with why so many people automatically hated her at birth, and she's an extremely strong person, but she still treats people with compassion. She's a really awesome fighter and has all these but it makes me proud to be a woman. And even though it seems super silly, I remember after a couple days of playing it, I'm sitting there like, scraping ice off my car. I see a guy shoveling, and I'm like, man, I don't have any gloves. I'm freezing my butt off. Maybe I can see if he'll just scrape off my windshield for me. And I was like, and I literally said to myself, what are you doing? Yeah, I was like, what are you doing? You're a woman. You can handle this.
Yeah.
I'm like, we have to deal with pregnancy, periods, all this like crazy stuff.
Edit point.
Right. But it's like, but for some reason, our society makes us think that we just aren't able to do things and that we should always be reaching out for help. And it's cool to actually play these roles or see these roles being played of strong women and being like, you know what?
Speaking
I do
of
see
that,
it.
I want to use that to transition to our top favorites.
Yes.
So I have a few top favorites that have kind of embodied the whole sexual image. Plus, I'm a badass bitch, and I will whoop some ass if I have to, type of role. So who has the whole persona of what guys want to see and the kick butt that girls want to see.
Right.
So a few top favorites that I have, Scarlett Johansson, obviously,
Yeah,
Black
yeah,
Widow.
yeah.
She's nailed it from the beginning of the whole Russian agent. I love it. Kick ass from the beginning to now. Can't go wrong. Black Widow.
Yeah. No,
Number
she's
two?
fantastic.
I've got Natalie Portman.
Mm-hmm.
She's played in Star Wars. She played in Thor. She's one of my all-time favorites. She's gorgeous without makeup, gorgeous with. And she's embodied that whole, I'm a badass, I'm going to stand for what I believe in, with crazy makeup and crazy hair.
Yeah.
And i.e. Star Wars, my favorite.
Yeah.
And she totally embodied that. I'm beautiful without being sexy, and I'm a badass.
Yeah.
Right.
We've also got here, I listed Elizabeth Olsen, which was a surprise to me because I'm not a big Olsen sister fan. But their older sister played Scarlet Witch in Avengers.
Oh, yeah.
I think she totally kicked ass.
Yeah.
I mean, and I was watching a few interviews on her, and she had to do a lot of her acting with no one around, totally green screen, pretending to whip up powers and do all this crazy
Right.
stuff and just be focused and look pretty while doing it.
Yeah.
You have to look pretty while you do this. I mean, really?
Yeah.
Really?
I know.
You know?
I know.
And she nailed it.
I know. Yep.
You know?
Fantastic.
So, Gal got it. I mean, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Wonder Woman.
Yep.
Like, I mean, I get hyped even when I hear the theme music, like, dun, 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 dun. Like, I know Wonder Woman's coming, and I know she's going to kick ass, and she's going to kick Batman's ass and Superman because she's better than everybody. Like, I just, like, you look at Justice League, and it's like, okay, guys, and Wonder Woman. Like, there's no other
Yeah.
woman.
Right.
It's Wonder Woman. She's all we got. Hope for her.
Yeah.
You know, on the big screen at least.
How do you feel about Ellen Ripley from Alien? Sigourney
I love
Weaver?
that. Yeah, I love that.
Such an amazing, and I know so many men that are our age that idolize Sigourney Weaver because of that role. Is so sexy and everything, and it's just like she was just no makeup, crazy hair, like kind of bad hair, but still just thin. But she was a strong woman. Mm-hmm. Strong woman.
Charlize Theron in
I love her.
Prometheus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, abort mission, this shit. And then they all die. You know,
Yeah.
you should have listened to the strong woman. Just kidding.
What, do you have any favorites that you like?
Yes, I am a big fan of Storm.
Right.
I think
Yes.
that as a minority, I'm Puerto Rican, seeing a lot of like colored skin is not normal. It's not common
Yeah, you're right.
in, the comic book world. And it's so...
It's like women is so scarce, and then you have a colored woman. It's like, it's a rarity in its
right.
form.
And it's like, I was kind of, I was on the internet and I was kind of browsing around, just kind of looking at the whole range of different like female ones. And then I kind of started digging deeper, and it's like, well, how many of these super, heroes, female
Mutants,
superheroes
villains, whatever.
have tan skin, are not tall, blonde, and blue eyes, or they all look the same. They all are over 5'7". They're all skinny. It's like
Yeah.
it's hard to kind of find and pick out where the minorities fit in, because it's like they don't look like us.
Yeah.
So it's like with Storm, she's darker skin. She's beautiful. She's strong, and it's like kind of just it gives us something
Right.
to kind of look to, and that's why like I really idolized Catwoman in the new with Halle Berry, like the way that she portrayed it, and having her
Now,
play the
even though
role.
Catwoman was not the best movie.
No.
It wasn't the best movie,
But it was
I
a
did
great
appreciate
movie,
Halle
which
Berry.
we talked about this movie before with the guys, how that Catwoman wasn't the greatest movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a good, strong movie, especially for girls, to show that, hey, there's an independent woman. She's working, and this crazy stuff happened to her life. Now she's Catwoman, but she's strong,
Right.
and she's
Mhm. She came
independent,
out of it stronger.
and she's not your typical woman that you would see be on the big screen.
Exactly. So that's another one. Harley Quinn, of course.
Of course.
I just love her. I mean, she just channels my inner crazy. So it's like
I love how Margot Robbie nailed, like, I'm sexy and my ass is hanging out, but turn around with the bat, like, I'll still whoop your ass.
yeah.
She nailed it with being sexy and diverse
Crazy.
enough to be crazy.
Right, exactly.
She's crazy.
Yes.
And I really hope that I hear rumors of another movie coming out for Suicide Squad. I really hope that they don't over-sexualize her so
I
much.
know.
You know, and in Boston we did all the Harley Quinn girls, and everybody said the same thing. We love her no matter what. But do we really have to over-sexualize her?
Right.
Wait, why
She's
can't she
cute
just wear
normal.
pants?
I
Right.
like her original
Or like
costume.
a jumpsuit or
Yes.
something. Like
Yeah.
there's other ways.
Yeah,
that
I do
you can-
too.
You
I was a
know?
little bummed when they got rid of that because that's what I remember watching on like Cartoon Network and stuff. I remembered watching, the Joker series and seeing her and being like, I thought it was cute. I thought it was neat and
Yeah.
it wasn't like super revealing and she was just kind of
We
like
have other
this little
characters
pet.
that are made to be sexy, i.e.
Right.
Poison Ivy. Her
Right.
cartoon character is
Yes.
sexual. She's
Right.
supposed to be. She's designed that way. She's our sexy vixen.
Right.
Let Harley Quinn be the crazy one.
Right.
We need to see more of that. We need to see more diversity in our women.
Exactly.
And we're the Geek Girls here to tell you all about it.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Well, I think we touched pretty much base on everything. And to wrap it up, since we've been sexualized. I don't even want to say that word anymore. But I think it's our turn. I think that it's our turn to kind of turn the tables. And it's your guys' turn. So I want to hear your top favorite characters for our male role leads in our movies here. So, you've got Thor.
Yes.
Yes, I love Thor.
Oh. And
Which,
Captain
who
America.
makes long hair and a cape and a hammer look hot?
I would have never thought.
I know.
Seriously.
Mr.
I was never
Hemsworth,
into that, and
thank
then
Lay
you.
that
I
hammer
saw
on
that
me. I know, he is so fine. I
He's
like Captain
one of my
America
favorite,
too.
Captain America.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny is I would have never thought Thor was attractive in like the cartoon roles or any other role
I'm the same
until
way.
Mr. Hemsworth played him, and now I'm like,
Yeah.
Thor comes on, I'm like, Captain
Yep.
America.
Yep. Captain America, I think is really cute. Not when he was super skinny. When he beefed up, I like that
You know who
more.
I added to our list since we seen Kong? Loki. I never
Yes.
thought he was hot until I seen him in
No.
Kong.
Yes.
And I was like, dude, him with blonde hair? Dude, total
Absolutely.
different person. I'm like, I
Absolutely.
would love to see him play another character. Maybe not necessarily a villain, but maybe somebody else in the whole Avengers world. Mm-hmm. I just think he's underestimated.
I think so too. I really like the Doctor from Doctor Who. I like the 11th Doctor specifically, but I really like the idea of being able to kind of like travel all of time and space with a guy that will never be with you. But I mean, you have an expiration date.
That's like
He
a little bit of
doesn't.
reality.
You might die. Yeah, no, it's like the perfect man. It's like what every guy wishes, right? Or at least what we think. But no, I mean, he's able to scoop up these companions and kind of travel around, show them all this cool stuff, pull the Aladdin, I can show you the world kind of stuff, and then at the end of the day, just drop you off of his at your doorstep if he wants to, or you get eaten by an alien, but that's not his problem. But no, I mean, there's something very sexy about this really intelligent, incredible man who's just going to show you everything. But and at the same time too, I feel like Doctor Who's really great because their female roles are always very strong too. Rose Tyler and Amy Pond, the 10th and 11th Doctor. Series, they're very strong women, and they speak up, they talk back, they fight well, they have good morals, and those are really good women to look up to as well, which makes me find the Doctor even sexier because that's what he likes in the women, right?
Yeah.
So
Right. And thank you for joining me on our first all-girl geek
thanks, Jill.
podcast.
It's been so much fun,
I know I had so much fun.
and we'll
Sarah,
see you guys
Kayla,
soon.
bye.
Bye.